All right, so that was Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer making the decision to help launch the U.S. towards a government shutdown. The deadline rapidly approaching as the Democrats look to tank the continuing resolution.
So it said Senator Schumer wants Republicans to just kick the can down the road past a month-long extension so they can negotiate before funding runs out for the government at 11:59 tomorrow night. So let's welcome in Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin. Now, Senator, if I'm not mistaken, they're asking to vote on the budget that the Democrats and Joe Biden approved back in the end of the year, but now they won't do it. What's your reaction to Senator Schumer's comments and threats to shut it all down?
Well, Mark, I was actually on the floor when Schumer was making these remarks, and I was kind of dumbfounded because he said that we didn't work with them to draft this CR. Keep in mind, it's a continuing resolution, the same continuing resolution that the Democrats voted for in September when Joe Biden was in office, the same continuing resolution CR that the Democrats voted for in December when Joe Biden was in office. So what has changed about the CR, which is a continuing resolution, right? The difference is it's Joe Biden's not in office and President Trump is in office, and they're willing to shut down the government. Now, this is an A or B choice. They either choose A, to fund the government in a continuing resolution that they've already passed twice underneath Joe Biden, or B, shut down the government. And guess what? The federal employees that they say they've been fighting for, remember the ones that are going out in front of these federal buildings, beating these drums and singing these awful songs? If they do that, what happens is they essentially give the authority to the White House to choose essential and non-essential employees and essential and non-essential agencies, meaning that President Trump can shut down these agencies that are causing a problem anyways, and also get rid of those employees underneath the government shutdown.
Yeah, you're right. Those songs really are like nails on a chalkboard. And, you know, not too long ago, back in
maybe worse.
Yes, yes. So back in 2023, Chuck Schumer actually talked about how pointless a government shutdown is. Take a listen to this.
The last thing Americans need right now is a pointless government shutdown. A shutdown will hurt just about every American.
Right. It'll hurt every American, the Americans that are singing those songs every single day. What do you make of those comments?
Right. Well, it's the hypocrisy from the Democrats. Also in 2010, on record, you have Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi talking about they're trying to find fraud and waste throughout the federal government and try to cut it. But once again, that's when Obama was in office. They will do anything to obstruct President Trump and his agenda to make America great again. Whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. It's just the opposite of what President Trump wants to do. Chuck Schumer speaks one way when a Democrat's in the office and speaks another way when a Republican's in the White House. And it's absolutely absurd. But this is what happens when you have career politicians elected to leadership like Chuck Schumer.
You know, Senator, you said something a little bit earlier. I want to go back because this basically means Chuck Schumer is doing Elon Musk's job for him. If you're so non-essential, you can be furloughed. Yeah. Doge should follow it up with a pink slip. You're no longer needed at all.
Well, remember in 2017, 2018, when the Democrats led us to a shutdown with Nancy Pelosi in charge, and then in 2018, it was the Schumer shutdown, which is exactly what this is going to be, a Schumer shutdown. It was all because of the fact their hatred towards President Trump. President Trump came out and said, if you choose to be non-essential, then the federal government doesn't need you because all federal government employees should be essential. This is going to be the same way moving forward. And when Chuck Schumer said that the Republicans doesn't have the votes in the Senate, we knew that beforehand because this is a 60-vote threshold. 60-vote threshold. This isn't like the budget. This isn't like the reconciliation. That's a simple majority. So we start at 53. We obviously have to have 7, but since Rand Paul is a no, and maybe one other, we're probably going to put 51 or 52 on the board. We've got to have 8 or 9. But we knew that before we even started. That's why a continuing resolution is a 60-vote threshold.
All right, Senator, always great having you on. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.